Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Jennuine Life Podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Nicole, and I am so excited to be here with you yet again on this magnificent Monday. I hope you all are doing well and taking care of yourselves. I've been so grateful for the weather here this past week in Seattle. It's been between 55 and 65 all week, so it has felt like spring, and I have this humongous tree outside of my window, and everything is just starting to bloom and really giving me spring vibes. So I, for one, am super excited about the weather as we head into all rain this week. But I hope that you are still finding things that bring you joy and finding things to be grateful for. I know we're kind of in some uncertain, crazy times, but I beg you to still try to find some joy every day and something to be grateful for, because it'll make things a little bit easier for you. But I want to jump into today's episode because, as you can tell by the title, we have got to address that Babyface and Teddy Riley situation that happened on Instagram Saturday night. Okay? I, for one, am blown away by what I witnessed. And if you missed it, you can totally catch it on YouTube because someone recorded it. But it was pure comedy, to say the least. I literally laughed myself into a migraine Saturday night. I could not take it. Between the live and then after the live ended, the memes, the videos, the posts, everything. It was funny, right? I'm not even gonna lie. I was cracking up, okay? However, I'm always trying to find a lesson in everything because that's life. Life is going to teach you a lesson. And I think if we have to use this as an opportunity to learn something, because there were so many gems in what happened on Saturday night. So we're going to take some time to dive into the lessons that I pulled from the Babyface and Teddy Riley live showdown that almost over 400,000 people witnessed. And I think some people mentioned that it was close to 500,000 at one point. And that is crazy to have that many people on, and what happened. So without further ado, I want to jump right into the lessons that I pulled. And I actually was able to pull 6 lessons from that live. So jumping right in, number 1, the very first thing is it's okay to be excited about something, but don't let your excitement override the research phase. How many times have you had an idea, or you're about to plan something or attend an event and you're ready to just jump in head first? Show of hands, because my hand is raised. Okay, I will not lie. I've done it plenty of times. I still do it. I get so excited about so many things and I just jump right in, and I'm like, I'll think about it later. We'll figure it out as we go along. And while there are certain things that you can totally do that with, you can't do that 90% of the time. You have to have a plan. I, for one, am someone who always sees the end picture. I see the bigger picture. I'm someone who can see the end result, but I need people around me that can visualize those stepping stones that help me get to the end result, right? And I'm taking a guess here. I'm not sure, but I don't think Teddy did his research. And I'm really going to try my hardest to get through this episode without laughing at every single lesson, but I can't make any promises, okay? Okay. I don't think he did his research. Or, because I am trying to think, devil's advocate here, my thought was that he just wanted to be different from the other live battles that have been occurring. However, it was pretty clear that there was no prep work done, because for the first 30 minutes of the live, the sound was off. They were trying to connect Babyface to the Instagram live, and it was just like, what is going on here? It just looked disorganized. And that's something that stood out to me, because I remember prepping for my very first video interview with a company, and I had my friend Tim practice with me several times. And I would go out, I sat in my car. I did it from outside of my car. I would move my car to a different part of the lot if the service wasn't good. Like, he literally sat on the phone with me and tested the video link until I perfected it, because I did not want to, hop on this video interview and it'd be a mess. And that's how it felt. Like, I felt like there was no plan B, C, D, or E, that they were literally trying to figure things out as the live went on, which was not a good look. And so don't be so excited that you skip the research phase. Study what other people are doing. It's okay. If you find someone that's doing something that you're interested in, doing something that you're passionate about, follow them. Check out what they're doing. Understand the research part. Ask questions. It's okay to ask questions, because then once you've gathered enough research and information, you take everything that you've learned and then you can spin it and be unique and be different and do it the way that only you can. But you've got to do the research. You have to, because then you end up looking kind of crazy. Okay? You don't want that. Avoid embarrassment and costly mistakes if you can. Number 2, know who you have in your circle. Oh my God. This may have been the biggest lesson of the night. Teddy had a multitude of people in the room, and yet not one person could come up with a solution. Now, I'm not saying that you should only have friends around you that can fix your problems or fix things or always have a solution, right? Your friends should also be there to be friends. That's not their job to fix everything. However, I'm going to take a guess here, and I'm going to assume that some folks in that room are on a payroll where that's their job, to fix things. If your circle isn't challenging you and stretching you to really execute your dreams with excellence, if they're not helping you to provide solutions to problems, and if your circle is all hype and no depth, reevaluate your circle, friend. And let me also say, we all have weaknesses, quote unquote, and strengths, and it's important to have people in your circle that not only allow you to leverage your strengths, but they also need to help you elevate those weaknesses, quote unquote. Because weaknesses aren't a bad thing, right? They're things that we need to work on. So I'm putting up air quotes as I'm speaking to you. But allow me to explain. And I'm going out on a limb here again. And I'm assuming that Teddy, he may not be a pro at using Instagram Live, right? Then why not have someone in the room that was? Someone that was super, super comfortable with the app, with going live, that really could attack anything that happened. They were pretty familiar with it. Like, why not have someone in the room that knows how to work Instagram Live? That could have saved a ton of problems yesterday. For instance, one of the areas where I'm quote unquote weak is I have trouble taking all of my grandiose ideas and organizing them in a way where I can execute them. So what happens with me is I'll have all of these ideas, but because I can't get to a place of execution, I just don't do them. So I have friends that I know that are excellent at organizing things, taking a lot of data and simplifying it. So I call them. And because we're friends, they allow me to brain dump on them. I tell them everything that's going on between my ears, and then they take that information and help me sort through it. Now, they don't do the work. They guide me so that it still feels like my project, but with help. And leaning in on your friends for strengths is not a bad thing. In fact, there should be a healthy cycle of give and take within your friendships. Anyone that you consider a friend, you would never want to see them go out in anything other than being draped in excellence. So it's not a burden to lean in on your friends. Use them and allow them to use you as well. It's give or take. Number 3, your work will always speak for itself. Friends, you do not need a parade, bells, whistles, 8 microphones, a megaphone to showcase your talent. And while I appreciated Teddy wanting to give the people a show because he was prepared, we all would have been just excited to watch him play his songs in a crack house basement. I mean, seriously, it didn't matter where he was. It didn't matter nobody cared about any kind of fancy equipment. None of us did. We just wanted to hear the music, and we didn't get that. And so I think sometimes, in my opinion, because it's human nature, when we walk into a room, sometimes we want our accolades to be seen and heard and felt immediately. But you have to remember, your work, your character, and your reputation will always precede your presence. If you're consistent and you know you've been putting in work, trust me, you don't have to do a thing. You may want to, because again, that's human nature. But your work will always be appreciated and recognized by the right people. Number 4, sometimes being alone is a sign of strength and confidence, not weakness. When Babyface finally signed on, everybody it was a very clear difference. Teddy Riley had the studio, he had a multitude of people in the room, and here we have Babyface in a room alone with a microphone and some earphones. And not only did he practice patience during this live, but it was clear how confident he was. He didn't need all that stuff. He was prepared. He already knew what songs he was going to be playing, and he knew that his talent would carry through that Instagram live. Sometimes people fret being alone, but it's during those times of solitude that you learn the most about you, your craft, and what you're passionate about, without the influence of others. Babyface didn't need anyone to tell him that his sound was off or what to do when things went left. He sat there, cool as a cucumber, let Teddy fix the chaos, or at least attempt to, and he went with the flow. Having a large circle and a ton of people around can lead to even more confusion and chaos. So I go back to tip number 2. Always know who you have in your circle. You have to. And learn to enjoy your alone time. Number 5, learn when to walk away. Child, when Teddy's camp said to come back in 30 minutes, I knew it was over. I mean, my heart wanted us all to, gather in 30 minutes, but I knew it was over. And as badly as we all wanted to hear it, Babyface came on Instagram and let us all know that he was not coming back. And this is so vital. I think everything has an end, and it's totally up to you to realize when it is time to walk away. Walking away can look different for different people at different stages of their lives. For me, it's a gut feeling. That's when I know I need to walk away from something. For you, it can be an incident, a situation, a trigger word. But I also take this back to tip number 4. When you truly know who you are, when you've spent some time with yourself, you'll know when it's time to walk away from something. And I'm almost positive that Babyface slept really well last night. He may have been a little sad that he couldn't, play music for his fans, but I'm sure he slept really well. And you know why? I'll tell you why. Because he didn't go beyond what his gut was telling him. And walking away reserves your peace and your boundaries. You can't be associated with everything, and everything can't be associated with you. And you always reserve the right to walk away. Number 6. And my last one. Last but not least. Sometimes you only get one shot. Now, I highly doubt we'll get to witness this showdown again. Of course, holding out hope. And of course, I'd be excited. But the reality is, sometimes when things are recreated, it's not always as exciting as the first time it's supposed to happen. And even then, while technical difficulties are no one's fault, you do lose credibility. Not a lot, but even a little can cause someone to question you and your capabilities to do something and to execute. I know if it did happen again, I'd be watching, waiting for Teddy to do something crazy, because that's now the expectation that I have, because that was my first time experiencing him live. Now, unfortunately, that's the only image that I have in my head. So now not only do you have to execute a second time, but you're going to have to do it even better than the first, because you're going to have to break the expectations that you aren't able to do it. And who wants that kind of pressure? No one. So you need to treat every single day, every opportunity, and every conversation like it's your last, and you need to approach it from a mindset of excellence. Now, don't get me wrong, we're all human. We're all totally accepting of mistakes. We understand things happen. And thankfully, we're all not fumbling in front of 400,000 plus people. But if you're always approaching an opportunity, a conversation, and every day like it's your last, then you have no choice but to operate in excellence. You don't want to waste your time. So I'll leave you with this, my friends. Be memorable. Don't be a meme. Because they definitely became memes the very next day. Be a Babyface in 2020. Be patient. Be confident in who you are. Let your work speak for itself. Know when to walk away. And always take full advantage of the one shot you get. Because you never know. You may not ever get another one. And of course, when you're thinking about life, this is your one shot. So live it to the fullest and do it with excellence. I hope you enjoyed today's show, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you next week. Be productive, be fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing you right back here next Monday.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. Make sure you're following Jenn on Instagram at Jennuine Life, and that's JENNUINE Life, to stay connected throughout the week. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Jennuine Life podcast episodes. Until then, join us back here on Monday for a new episode. As always, beauties, remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and be genuine.